Welcome to episode number 7 from the World of Presentations podcast with 356 Labs. It's me again, Boris, the founder of presentation agency 356 Labs. Today is the second part of the audience analysis, let's call it topic, that we started last time. If you haven't listened to episode 6 already, please check it out and then listen to this one. That's just a suggestion though. Now that I think about it, it's funny because episode 6 also points you to listen episode number 5 first. But hey, that's life. What can one do? So, what did we share with you last time? What did we share? You learned the 3 places where you can find information about your audience. Then we also talked about something called the focus group. And we started exploring what type of information we would be curious to know about the audience. Today we are moving on with the last part, because even though in episode 6 we covered a ton of things we are searching for, there's more. There's more people. We need more. So what else do we want to know about the audience? The first thing that I would suggest we want to know is, and that you want to know is, why are they here? Can you guess what makes them be in your room? Are they asked to be there? Is it their own wish? What are they looking to get out of this presentation? Think about this and give it to them. Focus on their needs and objectives, not on your own. Your presentation is all about them and not you, remember? The second thing that you want to know about. What keeps them up at night and how can you help them? What is the problem or problems they are looking to resolve by being in this presentation? And how can you resolve them? By showing them something? By giving them something? By demoing them something? Is it a mix of all of those? The third thing, is there anything they already know about the topic or don't know about the topic? Fourth, is there anything that should not be discussed for some reason in front of this group, especially one that can affect the success of your presentation? Is there anything like that? What do you think about it? And the fifth one, do people in the audience know you? Because if so, what do they know? And what do they associate your name with? If you are highly respected by them, it's one thing. However, could it be the opposite? That may change the way you approach your presentation too. And what if they're seeing you for first time? Maybe you need to build some credibility first. Okay, these are 5 important ones, but then I want you to do something interesting. We call it a day in the life of your audience, be that the whole audience or the focus group. What this means is that I want you to try to put yourself in their shoes. Let's say we're able to get in their life for a day. What are you going to see? How does their day look like? When do they wake up? What do they do in the morning? What do they eat and drink? Once they get out of their home, how are they dressed and how do they get to work? Do they go to work at all? Because if they're students, maybe they're going to school or they're in university. When there, what happens? What's the environment? Anything special in the interior, for example? What happens during their working hours? Do we know that? What happens after they leave work? What do they do on a normal day? Do they hit the gym? Do they go for a beer or just go back home? These are interesting things to know about your audience because they can give you interesting insights on them. Just to give you an example. If you find out that these people are every single day in a traffic jam when they're headed to work, then can you associate any of your topics or give an example even with that? Imagine you're presenting a product that allows you to do a specific task without ever going to an office. So how can you present that? You can say, well, with this product, you will never ever have to go to the office again. Okay, maybe they can remember that in their way to the office, they often spend time in a traffic jam and they hate it. Or you can present it like, with this product, you will never ever have to be stuck in a traffic jam. Something they hate and can relate to immediately. And yet you'll be able to complete all of your tasks without any issues. Well, now that's different. I hate being in a traffic jam, and I can immediately bring a recent memory of how frustrated I was to be yet again in one. If you can solve me this problem and help me not feel this way again, oh gosh, let's go. However, think about it. What if they never get into a traffic jam? What if your audience only uses the underground metro? Well, if you tell them that they won't be ever in a traffic jam again, how much do they care about that? Are you going to connect with them? No. A day in the life, people. A day in the life. So many insights from there. So many. So, back on the main topic. Why are we searching for all that information? We want it because it will allow us to connect with our audience and prepare a presentation that resonates with them. That point is very much connected with the last thing I want to share with you in this episode. It's about that connection we want to build, or put in other words, let's find common ground with them. I know, you're now maybe tired of talking about the audience. The audience. That reminds me of that famous presentation the ex-CEO of Microsoft, Steve Ballmer, delivered. You know that? Developers. For those of you who don't know that, I will link it in the show notes. You want to see that. Back on the topic, I promise, this is the last thing we discuss on the audience. But hey, if we're spending so much time on it, there must be a reason, right? We know a lot about them now, and we understand that everything we do, the whole presentation at the end of the day, is about them and not about you. When I recently saw a speaker from a company you may have heard about, HP, talking about and using the words he was presenting, and every single word was I, we. I was like, wow, this guy completely misunderstood what it is to be a great speaker. His focus is on him and not on his audience. That presentation ended on the 10th minute, I believe, when we as his audience understood that he's on stage just to tell how great he is and how cool it is that HP has some development center in India now. That's great, but why do we care about that? Why should we care about that? What's in it for us? Anyway, you should always be looking for ways to connect with your audience. And because of that, I want you to think about how can you connect with them. You know who you need to affect, and you know quite a lot about them. And now the question is, what is common between you and them? Because if we have thought about that too, we may end up having something interesting to play with that will guarantee that the audience will accept us and you as one of them. So what could be common between you and the audience? First thing, events. Maybe you found that you both like them and went there, for example, a specific event. Can you use that at some point in your presentation and mention that you were at an event and you enjoyed it because it's your favorite music band, for example? You sure can. What happens next? Why is that person now smiling in the audience? Can you stop and ask him why is he smiling when you told the name of the group and the event? Oh, because it's his favorite too, and he was also there. Oh, okay. The second thing, shared memories. Maybe it's even something you have gone through together, or you just both remember for some reason. Third, interests. Do you share some common interests? Hobbies? What are those, and how can you include them in your presentation? Fourth, goals. What about personal or professional goals? Maybe you are looking to achieve some business results and you are both struggling and aiming at that. Anything else? Well, qualifications, certifications, expertise, or anything, just simply anything that you can come up with, that you can use. Again, the end goal is for them to see you as one of them. Wow, okay. Can you already see how useful that could be in an important presentation? Allow me to share one last trick and then we are out of here, I promise. Think about how your audience or focus group done something that you can pay respect to and make them feel special. Do you think there's something like that? If so, what is that? Probably they have achieved some great success in something, or they're just really good in something. Can you mention that and give them credit for that in an obviously completely honest way? You really don't want to be or sound fake in something like this, right? Think about it. Think about it hard and plan. That's it, people. I promise, just one more thing. We're getting to the end of this crazy journey of audience analysis now. Again, as in the previous episode, if you want to learn more about how to plan your presentation properly and see our own algorithm of how we plan the presentations for our own clients, go to academy.356labs.com. There is a course that's called Planning a Presentation Like a Pro. You have a promo code as part of the podcast, our community and podcast community. It's called 356 podcast, one word, that will give you, and you will be able to enroll for 1/3 of any course in our library. And in case you want to train the people around you in the subject, ping me on my personal email, boris@356labs.com, and we can either organize a customized course for you and your teams or enroll them in the online version. And if that's the case, just let me know how many people are we talking about, and I'll get you a really cool offer. Thanks for listening, and if you find that episode useful, go check us out on all the other major social media platforms. Links, as you guessed it, in the show notes, where we share quite a lot of other cool things that will help you become a better speaker. By the way, a call to action. Don't leave now. Was this useful, and which part was the most important or insightful for you? Let us know in the comments, and see you soon in episode number 8, when I may not be alone here, but have a co-host. Who knows? Enjoy your day. Bye. Enjoy your day.